I am with Aurelian, my co-founder. Today, we want to show you how you can scrape data out of LinkedIn Sales Navigator using Vein. Aurelian, how do we start?
Hi, Sebastian. The reason why you want to use Sales Navigator is because this is the most complete and up-to-date database on the market for people and for companies. There's a lot of different options in the market, providing packaged databases like Apollo, Cognism, Simulation, you name them. But overall, they're all using LinkedIn as data eventually because that's the only global database, to access information about people. So you want to use Sales Navigator because the freshest data, the most complete, the most accurate. And when you use another database, you're going to end up losing a part of the data you think you have collected for three main reasons. First one, because it's going to be incomplete. You may only have 90 or 95% of your total addressable market. Second issue is that most of the time, the data is not as fresh as we claim it is. Of course, we are not getting data from LinkedIn in real time. So the problem is these guys working for this company and they may have left like 3 months ago. So you end up with inaccurate data. And last but not least, these guys now try to be the best at everything and you can't. And it turns out that usually their email enrichment system is not the best. They are not the best on the market. So sometimes you say, okay, I may have to get data from Sales Navigator. I may have to enrich it with another solution or, import into Clay and manipulate it. But in the end, that's where you're going to get the best data, the freshest data. And what you have to realize is if you get 10%, 20% more leads that way, it may result in that much business eventually. So it's not costing you money, it actually may save you money.
And I would add that, when you use like the database of Apollo, for instance, you're going to find the same contact as millions of users. So you're going to contact people that like thousands of other competitors contact. But if you scrape your own data, you're going to find 10%, 20% prospect that are not in Apollo and that you will be nearly one of the few to contact, and so you're gonna get even better result doing that.
Exactly. You may get more contact that way, and because your total addressable market may not be in these databases.
Yeah, I have a user is from Germany, and he did the test. He took his persona and he searched for it inside Apollo, and he got 10K prospects. And then he did the same with Sales Navigator and he scraped it with Vein and he enriched it and he got like 15,000 prospects.
Yeah, and you have to realize out of this 10K, maybe only 8 or 9,000 are actually up to date. And it means 1 or 2,000 maybe, they may have changed job and the data has not been updated yet. So now if you want, I can show you exactly how you can easily do that with Vein and again, how to use Sales Navigator and how to combine it with Vein to get fresh data.
Okay, great. Let's go. Show me.
To show you, so basically the app is pretty simple. Once you have created yourself an account and you're gonna sign up and basically you go on your dashboard and that's where you will do almost everything. As with any LinkedIn automation tool, the first thing you need to do is to connect your LinkedIn account. So here you have this button. If I click on it, it's going to open a pop-up and you see it's asking for my Sales Navigator cookie. So first, I'm going to show you how to get that. It's pretty easy. Just need to access any Sales Navigator page. We have a video that's going to tell you here, how to do that again, but just to show you quickly, I'm going to do a right click, go in Element Inspector. So if mine was in French so far, and you want to go in here in application. I'm already in the cookie from the LinkedIn page, and you want to find this one which called li_at, and basically you can just double click on it and copy and paste it in Vein, and it's basically gonna connect your account. So why this method? This method is actually pretty good because it means we don't have to deal with 2FA. Any issue with you may have using another kind of LinkedIn connector. So this is pretty straightforward, and it's gonna guarantee that you get easy connecting on LinkedIn.
And what is the difference with tools that have like a Chrome extension?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Basically, when you have a Chrome extension, it's going to do exactly the same. It's going to retrieve your session cookie the same way we are doing it. The only difference is nowadays, like having a Chrome extension or even an extension that's going to rewrite the LinkedIn page is going to increase the chance of detection at the account level. So basically, the opinion of our team is it's not a good idea anymore to use a Chrome extension. We understand that's easy, and again, I would say most of the time it should be okay, but I think it's safer not to do it. It removes this manual step of having to look for the cookie in the elements inspector, but still, like again, you see in 20 seconds, basically you're done, and it's more secure.
Okay, great.
Okay, so now you see basically my account, my LinkedIn account is connected. If I refresh the page just once, you see the button that allows me to create order. So basically, an order is how you're going to scrape data. You're gonna give it a Sales Navigator URL, and you're gonna start scraping data. So if you want, now we can jump into Sales Navigator and explore it a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Those of you that are not yet familiar with Sales Navigator, so it's the professional version of LinkedIn. You have to pay a license to access it, but gives you access to much more data, many more filters than the regular version of LinkedIn does. Nowadays the searches here in LinkedIn is pretty limited. So if you are serious about getting data, you need to buy a Sales Navigator license. So basically, the Sales Navigator is split between what we call leads and accounts. Leads are people, accounts are companies, and you can scrap both using Vein. So basically, the lead section is the page most people use. There's a bunch of filters. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory. Like the current company, the company account, which just show you the number of employees in the company location, and then you have some information about the person. The most used ones, of course, the current job title. The function could be used as well. As you can see, it's just like a way to like a higher category of job titles. You can look for everybody in finance. For example, instead of having to look for the financial director, CFO, stuff like this, you have the seniority level, which is basically the decision making level of the person. Again, some information about their past, like the past job titles, and then you can find more information about them for the years in current company or the years in current position. Sometimes it could be interesting for you for different things. First of all, to split bigger queries, and but also if you are targeting for people, it's okay. Based on the product I'm selling, it's better to sell to people that have been there recently, or on the opposite, to sell to people that have been there for a while, and may have more influence within the company. The industry. So this is also very, very interesting. LinkedIn tends to have a pretty extensive lists of industries here. So you may have to get familiar with that. There are about 800 as far as I know. And it allows you to refine your searches.
Show us how you built this search.
Okay. So let me show you. I have created a list here of companies that are working in the Fortune 500. I will show you later. I started with this here in the account, and basically I've created this list. So again, American Fortune 500 companies. Let's say now I want to get more, I want to target people, in the marketing department, and I want to target, high level executives. So we want the vice presidents of marketing. So you see when you type LinkedIn, it's going to give you various options. As you can see here, I have about 1,500 results. And if I want to be more refined, I can choose, for example, the geography. I may want to get people in the, in the New York City area. I think there's another, New York City metropolitan. I think this one gives you more, a bit wider options. So you can see here, I have narrowed my search to 240 people.
Let's say you want the VP of marketing. Do you want to include the CMOs, like Chief Marketing Officer? If so, do you have to add it, or because you put Vice President of Marketing, they're gonna assume that you want also the CMOs and they're gonna put it in the list?
LinkedIn is actually going to interpret the keywords you input. So maybe sometimes they will decide that vice president of marketing is more or less equivalent to a CMO. It may depend on the kind of companies you are targeting. Here, since I'm targeting Fortune 500 companies, they tend to be very different roles. So if you want to include CMO, you may have to type it directly. And even if I put CMO, you can see the way they interpret your information, which can cause some issues we'll see later, is it could be a chief marketing officer or chief medical officer. So here you may want to include be careful with that. I will choose the LinkedIn keyword, the exact keyword, and get the chief marketing officer. So you see, I have now about 100 people more in my search. But you can use what we call Boolean search. So it's basically you're going to try to combine different keywords together in the most efficient manner. If you see here, I've tried to combine like a lot of decision-making level people, like director or VP or head of or manager and marketing. And if I do that, it's actually going to give me a lot more results. The search is going to be a lot more extended. And you see now I've got 5,000 results instead of the initial 340. So again,
that's a huge difference. How do you explain it?
Well, basically, because here I'm not just getting vice president and chief marketing officers, but I'm getting like director, marketing director, VP. Because sometimes when you put vice presidents, they may or they may not give you all the VP of marketing, or again, they may not give you all the head of marketing. It depends if LinkedIn exactly interprets if director and head of is the same keywords. So you may have to play a bit around and to find like the highest number if you want to, the highest number of leads if you want to have to get your total addressable market at once, if that makes sense.
Right.
Just to show you, I don't know if you have a more question of, and I can show you how you're going to get all this data from Sales Navigator.
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's basically pretty simple. You're gonna grab the URL here. You're gonna copy, and then you want to paste it in vain. So I'm gonna create here an order. I'm gonna paste the URL. It's gonna check how many results it can actually retrieve. So here you see, it says 5,266. I can name it like demo marketing NYC, and this number here may surprise you because with basically every other tool on the market, you can only retrieve 2,500 leads from one query. So if your search returns more than 2,500 profiles, you can only scrap the first 2,500. And that's where we even warn you about that here. The difference with Vein is actually we are going to try to break down your search into smaller batches. And even if your search is bigger than 2,500, we are going to get you more profile than the any other tools on the market. We cannot exactly guarantee how many we're going to get because every query is different, and again, you don't want to spend too much time trying to split it. So you may see different results, but usually below 5,000 results, we're gonna get you almost all the time 100% of the results, and between 5,000 and 10,000 is gonna be a bit between 95 and 100. And if I click here, create order, basically it's gonna create a new scrapping here. It's gonna be in pending. The scrapping is gonna start every 2 minutes, and you can see. But in this case, I don't exactly need it because I've already started it here, so it's already in starting mode. And I can show you the result with files that are already in existence. Was it that clear enough, or do you have more questions about the way it works?
It's clear. Like, how long is it gonna take? Like, can you give us a ballpark answer? Like, if I want to scrape 3,000 profile, how much time it usually takes, and what if I want to do 10,000? Like, is it in minutes? Is it in hours? Like,
yeah, again, it's gonna depend on every search, but basically, let's say less than 3,000 is gonna take between 5 and 10 minutes. The reason why sometimes it takes time is also to protect your account, to make sure you can scrap very large volumes, without breaking LinkedIn's limit. And Vein is the safest tool in that regard. So usually people prefer that it takes maybe 2 or 3 extra minutes and that their account is protected. If you go above 3,000, 5,000, again, it's going to take more time. 10,000 may take up to 30 minutes to complete. Again, every search may be different. With us, you can scrap up to 15,000 profiles every day. And this means that if you are trying to scrap more than 15,000 every day, we're going to pause. When you reach that limit, we're going to pause the scrapping, and we're going to resume it the next day. You're going to come the next day, and basically it will most likely be over. And so you can start several orders at once. So you can see here I have absolutely no problem starting like 2 orders of 5,000 results the same day, and it's gonna be done again at some point today. It will be done.
So you can launch several scraping at the same time with huge volume. And what if you have to go now? Like, can you can you turn off your computer and leave, and the scraping is still gonna happen?
Yeah, everything's happening in the cloud and the backend. So now I can close the tab, shut down my computer. There's no problem.
Very easy.
Now I can show you basically what the data is looking like on on scrapings that are already done. So here you can see I have the VP of marketing, the limited search I've done before. I've already tried to scrap it to show you guys faster. So see, it was finished. You can see two results here that may be intriguing a bit, which is matching and to check. Basically, when you scrap data with us, Vane is going to perform a control over the result that LinkedIn is returning, and it's going to tell you, okay, out of the 240 people we got you, 109 are actually exactly matching the filters you inputted, and for 130 of them, you may want to check because LinkedIn may have returned results that are not exactly accurate. Sometimes our control is a bit too strict, but again, as you see, LinkedIn tends to interpret a bit the information you put, and you may want to control that the data is accurate and is exactly what you want.
Yeah, I think maybe you can give some data. If you
I can show you exactly what I mean.
Yeah, what you mean. Maybe you give an example like after page 3, there is probably 20 to 30% mistakes in the result that LinkedIn returns. For instance, it could be the industry that's not the industry you asked for, or the size of the company, or even the title. Sometimes it's like you don't even know why LinkedIn gave you this prospect. It has nothing to do with your search, but it's there. And if you scrape it and then you pay to enrich it and then you pay to put it in your automation tools, it's a lot of time, a lot of money, and also you're going to prospect people that has nothing to do with your business, so the quality of your campaign will be not so good.
Exactly. Just to show you here, the data is available in two formats, and I'm going to show you the difference after. It's called simple and advanced. Basically, the difference in advanced, you have way more information. So again, this allows you to create more complicated scenarios, and it's only required for, I would say, more advanced users. But here, most of the time, the simple format is more than enough for people. So if I click on download, I'm gonna get a CSV file. I've already prepared it for you guys. I'm not going to get into the details about all the fields. What you need to understand is the data is of course optimized for outbound, but could also use for HR purposes. So basically, you have the most important information about the prospect, the one you need for email enrichment, whether you are doing it through Vane directly or you are buying from another provider, job contact, full enrich, enter, you name them. And basically, which is like the first name, the last name, and of course the job title that you may want to filter, the LinkedIn URL, their location, and the information about the company. So the website or the company name, the website is not clear. If I go back at the beginning, just to give you a little bit more details about the information you will find in the file, you can see here the first column which says recent duplicates. Everything's at false now because this is the first time I'm exporting this data. But basically, if you have already scrapped this profile in the last 90 days, we are going to say true. And this can prevent you from enriching the data again and again to pay more credits from your email enrichment provider. The second column is also interesting. It says matching filters. Basically, for those of you who have some experience with Sales Navigator, you may know that sometimes the data that is returned by Sales Navigator is not exactly correct. Doesn't exactly match your query. When it says matching filters is false, it means that we have detected that some of the information in the profile may not be exactly what you were looking for. And most of the time, the problem is with the job title, the location of the person, the industry, or the company. I think if we look at this person here, we can see what the problem is. The job title says Corporate Vice President, Center for Consumer Insights, and we are looking for VP Marketing. So basically, it's just the way that Sales Navigator is going to interpret the data, and they're going to say that this job title actually match what you think a VP of marketing could be. So again, this could be right, but we also encourage you to check that this is correct. This person will fit your ICP. And then I'm just going to quickly go over the information. This is basically the information you are used to see when you visit a profile. So the summary of the person, their job title, job description, the information about the company they're working for with a lot of details like the company's description, LinkedIn specialties, the number of employees, the location of the company as opposed to the location of the person. In this case, this is the date when they ended the job, which of course here it's empty because it's their current job. The difference here between the column Y, and the column T is this is like the range the company has declared on LinkedIn. And also sometimes Sales Navigator is able to give you the information about how many people are actually connected to this company on LinkedIn. So the two information may vary. You can see here, this is of course the higher range, and it's way above 10,000 people. There is almost like 300,000 people in this company. You have the total sales. Again, this information is provided by Sales Navigator. I cannot guarantee how accurate it is, but most of the time it is. But again, it's not calculated by us. It's their own calculation of the total revenues of the company. And then as you move, you are going to see the work history of the person. So these are basically exactly the same columns, except these are for the past job. So you will be able to see that the job started on, you have an indication about the date when they started the job. And of course, you have an indication about when they finished the job most of the time. It can be open. Okay, of course, some people have like several job position open at the same time, sometimes because they just forget to close the previous one. But most of the time, this is they are done with this job, and or actually also it can still be open because you can still be in the same company assuming several positions. Can also happen from time to time. So you have the job history, the company information. Again, this is for more advanced scenario.
An example maybe of how you can use this info. Received, like, a friend of mine forwarded me a prospecting email he received, and he's the founder of a SaaS company. But before, he used to work for a big lab, a big corporate lab. The email was like, "Hey Pierre, you didn't leave Johnson and Johnson and start your own company to still have this problem, basically." And so my friend told me this really caught my attention because I think it could have been automated. It looked like it was automated, but he was very accurate in describing, like he was working for a company, then he quit to do another thing, and maybe he didn't want to face the same problem again. And so the guy who was prospecting was using this catchphrase, and it worked pretty well. So that could be a use case to use the past experience of the prospect.
Now, of course, yeah, that's why I was saying for more advanced scenarios, this could be used to create like catchy icebreakers. Of course, some people are going to see through that, and they will know it's automated. But yeah, it's gonna sound a lot more personalized. It can sound, again, very interesting because maybe there's even a specific problem people add, when they are working at Johnson and Johnson, or a certain kind of experience, they're having working for this company that's interesting to reference. So sure, yeah, this is useful. I was saying it's interesting for HR purposes, but for you are correct. You're absolutely correct. For outbound, it could be very interesting, and it's gonna make you sound much different than most people. It's extra work, of course, but yeah, it's maybe worth the investment. You have to realize on the game these days is people are receiving a lot of emails, automated emails. Why are they going to give you 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes of their time for a first meeting? But that's the big question you have to ask yourself. And of course, having this more personalized, more advanced scenario can help you get this precious 10, 15 minutes. If I continue moving with the data we are going to give you, is here you can see the headline. So the headline is basically your very, very short bio just under your profile picture most of the time. So again, this could be used to create some icebreakers or to be inserted in your outbound emails if you find a way to reference this information properly. Here you find the information about the fact that the user maybe have an open profile or premium member. Open profile is very interesting for many of our users because this tells you that this person can be contacted. You can message them on LinkedIn even though they are not part of your network. So this is something people are actually interested in knowing. Again, for more advanced scenario, here you have the skills. So once again, very interesting if you want to filter, the people, create very, very targeted list of prospects, craft like, really precise ICP. You have here the language they speak, if you have indicated any. And the last part is about their education history. So you have basically the last three degrees. This is very like advanced scenarios. Not everybody needs that or knows how to use it. But the same way you're referencing your friend, receiving this mention of his previous job in a outbound email. I've had some customers having great success by like targeting people who are working. We attended the same school as them, or some of the management team in the company we're working for, and it was giving them much better results than just, like spraying and praying, targeting everybody. So this information can be useful for HR purposes, but also can be used for the people looking to do very, very precise outbound or very smart outbound system.
Okay. And so this file, what's the next step? You upload it. So did you enrich it with email yet through Vein or not?
Not this one. I can show
Not
you
this
another
one.
one, which is enriched, which is and at the end you can see the enriched email. So in our case, this is up through the integration with our partners. We do not do the enrichment ourselves. We keep working with different partners and choosing the best one for email and email enrichments. And basically, once this is done, you can import this in your outbound campaign tool. So again, you name them: Woodpecker, Lemlist, Reply, Smart Lead, whichever you favor. Of course, the enrichment could be done directly through us. You need to buy enrichment credits, I think, as I've shown before. Otherwise, you can just enrich the file yourself. This is not a problem. The file is ready, optimized for that. And once it's ready, you can just go and choose your favorite partner. So okay, so yeah, basically once the data is enriched, you import it in your email outbound campaign, whichever one you're using. And here I'm just going to show you quickly Choco plus Vibe. Used to be Piper.ai and plus Vibe. So every tool usually starts with the import of the CSV file with your prospect. So this is pretty straightforward. You just choose a CSV file to import, just drag and drop it, and you can see here. So the column, of course, that I've shown you in the file, and we just have to match them with the database. So here there is some column I don't necessarily want to import. I didn't go over that, but we give you the person's LinkedIn ID and the company LinkedIn ID. This is something that could be interesting for those of you that are building, big databases or CRMs, advanced CRM system, because unlike the URL of the company or the person, the ID is not going to change. So if you want to update the information in the future, this is something that could be useful for you. For this purpose, I wouldn't import it. Here, I just need to be careful because the email that's being used here is the private email. I don't want this one. So I need to go at the end and find the enrich one. So that's the one I will reference. And basically here, you just have to choose again which option you want. So for the sake of it, I will be quick. LinkedIn URL, this going to import the website. Maybe I will add it as well. And for the rest, I think I will leave it there. Of course, you guys can import it depending on the tool you're using, and if you want to keep all this information in your outbound platform. And basically, once it's done, I just need to click here, import. Maybe missing one. Yeah, that's the one. And basically now you're good to go. So you can just create a campaign. You use this data, and the rest is nice. Your job to make it an interesting email for your target market.
Cool. If you guys want to try it for yourself, go on our website, vein.io. There is a free plan that's forever. It's not like a free trial. It's actually a free plan that lets you scrape 200 prospect every month. So use it if you only need to have a small volume. And other than that, you can subscribe to our first plan, which costs $29 a month, and you can scrape up to 10,000 profile a month. And don't hesitate to book a call with us if you need to talk to us, if you want more details, and looking forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.